All of Jasper's life has been haunted by stigma and insecurity. She was born under a lucky star in a very unlucky place, under a diamond whose fall would decide all of Earth history, and leave her people behind to pick up the pieces. Something which Jasper was never able to do, leaving her forever haunted by that day, which, by some strange force, drew her back again to where it all started, thousands of years later. A lot had happened between then and now. Since the death of Pink Diamond, Jasper had done her best to move on by working on her Yellow Diamond. But her failure to protect Pink Diamond had forever taken hold of her very identity, forever branding her weak, forever branding her a failure. But what can a failure do to atone for their crime when the victim is no longer around to forgive them? What can they do but keep going, knowing that their burden will never leave their shoulders? Some resign themselves to this fate and quietly bear their cross until their time is over, and some, in an effort to redeem themselves, seek out their mistakes in others in order to punish them the way they themselves never were. These tragic heroes, lost within their own self-hatred, very rarely understand that they are only chasing their own tails. Jasper was no different. But then an opportunity of redemption showed on the horizon. An opportunity to strike down the one that had taken everything away from her. The one that had murdered her diamond. The one who had changed everything. Rose Quartz. But when she came for her revenge, something completely unexpected happens to her. Something she should have never experienced in any lifetime. Fusion. Allowing someone else complete access to her vulnerable soul. And tearing through her armor with all her might, Lapis Lazuli opened up Jasper's heart and let her experience the pain she had always been denied. But other than just the armor around her heart, she also tore at the veil over her eyes, letting her glimpse herself for who she really was, if only briefly. But then she was alone again, left only with the whispers of self-hatred and doubt to comfort her lonely thoughts, left only to explore her past shame once again. And so she stood there again, at the foot of her birthplace, determined to disprove the self staring back at her from all that time ago, the one who failed. So she built herself a castle on the site of the prison that had held her since birth, the prison that held her still. And then one day, she stood there at the gates, the one that had taken her life away from her, the one that had murdered her diamond, the one she knew as Rose Quartz. And as quickly as she had built it, her house of cards was blown away as if by a sweep of the hand, the same hand that had taken the life of her diamond, the same hand that had now removed the veil completely and shown Jasper just who she really was. Because now the hand was reaching out to her in a gesture of friendship, and Jasper found, to her disgust, just how much she wanted to take it, just how much she wanted to accept the embrace of the one who had stripped her of her purpose, who had murdered the one who gave her purpose. Because when you're at the bottom, you'll accept anyone who makes you feel like any less of a failure. But this tragic hero overcame herself, and for the first time in her life, chose her own destiny. and like a strong and loyal soldier, chose to honor the memory of her diamond, and despite her own weakness, surrendered herself to insanity rather than disgrace the first person to ever give her life purpose. Because Jasper could never forgive herself if she were to accept Rose's hand, even if it meant falling into the clutches of the person who hates her more than anyone, herself. Because the devotion Jasper carries for Pink Diamond goes deeper than just her own weakness. Thank you for listening. Hey guys, I wasn't sure how to handle this episode. The safe option was to do the same thing I always do, or, well, always and always. I've made like 4 episodes. But I felt like no matter how I explained myself and articulated the intricacies of her thoughts at the end, it didn't feel like it was going to do the whole story justice, and the real heart of the story would lose its magic if I were to dissect the frog rather than, just show it jumping. So, I took a gamble in an attempt to give her story the flair I feel it deserves. But if you'd like a version of her end in the normal fashion where I stand and talk at you, then I can do one of those as well, because there are things I couldn't quite fit into this video for pretty understandable reasons. Creative writing is really difficult. I mean, I did it willingly and I do like doing it, but it's hard making it fit together in a good way, so I would really appreciate it if you told me what you thought in the comment section. And as always, thank you for watching. I hope I'll see you next time. Bye.